The heater motor assembly consists of the motor with the wiring harness and plug, and a new fan wheel. The heater motor rotates the fan wheel so your bathroom fan will blow warm air. After years of use, the heater fan motor will fail and will need to be replaced. Replacing the heater motor assembly is a repair that you can do yourself, and I'm going to show you how. I'll begin by removing the lens from the grill. The reflector is held in place with a nut. I'll go ahead and remove it. Then the reflector will pull away from the grill and the wiring can be unplugged. The reflector holds the grill to the fan and the grill will come free when the reflector is removed. Now unplug the heater blower motor. The entire heater assembly is held in place with 2 screws. I'll go ahead and remove them. When the screws are released, the heating element housing can be rotated out, and there's 2 pins that hold the blower assembly to the rest of the fan housing, and those will come free. Next, I'll remove the 4 screws that secure the heating element cover plate. Next, I'll remove the thermal fuse. It's secured with 2 nuts. Next, I'll note the location of each of the wires and go ahead and remove the screws that secure them. These same screws also secure the heating coils. The blower wheel is secured with a hex screw, and I'll use a hex wrench to remove it. With the screw loosened, now I can go ahead and pull the blower wheel away from the motor. Now I can remove the fan motor from the blower housing. It's secured with 2 screws and 2 nuts inside the housing. You'll probably notice that your new fan wheel looks different from the old one. There was a design change made. It's important when replacing the motor that you also replace the fan wheel. Don't reuse the old one. I'll install the new fan motor by securing it with the nuts. Now install the new fan wheel and secure it to the motor shaft. I'll rotate it by hand to make sure it's not rubbing. Now reinstall the wires and the heating coils. I'll start with the red wire. The red wire goes on the lower hole on the bracket. First I install the screw through the wire, followed by a metal washer, the spacer with the flange. This goes through the housing. Next comes the flat spacer. The flat metal washer. The heating coil is next. And then the nut. Next, I'll install the brown wire. Again, the screw goes through the wire, followed by a metal washer, spacer with flange. This assembly goes into the housing, followed by the flat spacer, another metal washer, and a nut. Now install the black wire. Again, the screw through the wire, metal washer, spacer with flange. This goes through the housing. Next, the flat spacer, another metal washer. After the metal washer, I install one of the nuts. Go ahead and secure this. Next comes the heating coil and the second nut. After the flat metal washer comes one of the two nuts. Now install the heating coil and secure it with the second nut. Now I can install the new thermal relief. I place it over the two screws and I'll secure it with the nuts. Now I can resecure the heating element cover. And I'll install the heater assembly back into the ceiling fan. I line up the pins on the blower with the notches on the housing. and then roll the whole assembly into place. And I'll secure it with the screws. Now just plug the motor and heating elements back into the red receptacle in the housing. Now I can place the grill back onto the bathroom fan, plug the receptacle for the lamp back in, place the reflector into the grill, aligning it with the screw in the center of the fan. I'll secure the reflector with the nut. And replace the lens. And now you know how to replace the heater motor and wheel assembly in your bathroom fan.